That's right, we're here again. I'm cooking, actually, but it's one of those dishes that has to sit on the stove for like an hour and a half, something like that. I figured by the time I get done with this stream, the food will be ready. And then I can go have, I guess, late lunch, early dinner, whatever you want to call it. Me and the Jawas, we're going to go munch, right, buddies? Damn right we are. I guess while we're here, we might as well play some cards. And of course, for those of y'all watching over on Facebook or Twitch, y'all can join us over on YouTube, or you can keep watching wherever you're watching from. That's fine. But yeah, people over on Mixer and Streamcast, and I generally pay more attention to YouTube chat. Although I am trying a restream chat again to see if it works, and it's being weird. I think ever since YouTube went and did all the changes they did with the in-game the website studio that they have, things got all kinds of weird. So hard to say if it's working or not. I guess we'll just kind of go with it and see what happens. Anyway, we should have sound, I believe. Yes, we do have sound finally. Yay! Coming to find out, did some troubleshooting with some other software. Because I've had this problem for the last few days, and I kept thinking maybe it's my hardware. Turns out it's not my hardware. It is in fact OBS, because I downloaded a couple of different stream options and tried those out. And yeah, the audio is a bit weird. It's hold on, what is it doing now? I've been making so many changes that audio is going to be weird. Hold on. Let's see. Well, why is it doing this? It's not so... Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I swear to God. This is just... Why is this even there? This doesn't need to... I swear to God, dude. I'm so freaking over OBS. I'm ready to just dish out the $5 a month and start using... XSplit, whatever it's called. What is it? I have it here. XSplit Broadcaster. I'm so ready to start using that. It's not. It's OBS. I mean, like I was about to say, I'd done some troubleshooting, and I put everything that I have here, like as far as my scenes and stuff like that, into XSplit. Worked just fine. No problems. No delays. Nothing. I come back to OBS. Delays. So, and people are like, it's probably just your settings. I'm like, dude, I have changed, no kidding, every single setting I can think of. And it just, I just don't know what else to do. I'm at a loss. And people keep trying to tell me, oh, it's this, it's that. Dude, I believe me. This is something that I've been having to deal with, God, for at least a couple of months now, and nobody has an answer. Everybody's like, turn off timestamp. Timestamps are not on. We'll check your sync. No, that's not the problem either. God, I hate OBS. I hate you so much, OBS. Why can't you just frickin' work? I mean, it's free software, so I can't get too angry. But still, it's like, please, just please work. Even now, as I'm... Hold on. No, don't want to do that. For some reason, and the reason why it sounds a little weird, let's call it BS reason. Because it's, I don't understand why, but it keeps changing. Hold on, let me open this. Okay, input's good. Microphone looks good. Yeah, all this looks normal. I don't get why it's doing this. It's now trying to filter my mic into my desktop audio. And why is it doing this? I never asked you to do this. Jesus Christ, man. I thought that's what you wanted, George. Jesus, OBS, you're gonna be the death of me. I swear to God, man. Let's see, did that work? I think I got it. Oh, I think I got it, finally. Did that work? I think it did. Hold on, let me turn that down a bit. Okay. So, mic sounds better now, apparently. Let me check something here. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get. It's no longer sending my mic through my speakers so that I'm getting reverb. That's essentially what it was. God, man. And the thing is about this is what I hate the most about OBS, is that, okay, you would figure, okay, I've set these settings, right? It's saved. That is the way it's supposed to stay. The next time I open this stupid program up, all of my settings are going to be different. Or it just won't work. It does this every freaking day. And I have to sit here and screw with it and plead with it every freaking day. That's why, that's why sometimes I don't even want to stream. I'm like, what, screw this. I'm like, I get so sick of doing it. But I'm seriously considering using XSplit. I have it downloaded. I can use the free version of it. Free version's not that great, but it does what it's supposed to. Ugh, if only I could afford it. I mean, I sort of can, but I guess I'm gonna have to. At least if I'm paying for it, I have every right to get pissed if it doesn't work. Right? Because, I mean, if you get it for free, you can't really get too upset because you're like, well, it's free. I mean, what do you expect for free? But if you pay for it, then it's like, okay, you better work. I'm paying for you. Oh yeah, $5 is gonna really do it for me. I would appreciate that, but still. Yeah, the XSplit, I was looking into it, and for like a 3-month sub, they're having like a deal right now, like a sale. It's like $18 for 3 months. But even then, it's like, well, I don't know. It's different. Let me see, what do we got? Nothing but 3 stars. Oh man. I'm gonna have to pot. Share your food with the poor people in chat. Well, I'm only cooking for 1, so it's not like there's a whole bunch of food here. Yeah, I don't make massive meals. The only thing I cook, where I cook a lot of it, is beef stew. And that's because beef stew tends to keep. What I can do is I can, make a big pot of it, and I'll have, like a bowl for lunch and then a bowl for dinner, and then I can just stick it in the fridge. and let it sit there for a few days, and then a couple days later go back to it, heat it up again, and boom, just like that. All right, so what are we gonna do here? I kind of want to just do evenly matched, even though it's really early. Ooh, 2000 defender. Yeah, let's hold evenly matched. We'll hold it in our hand, see what he does here. Because if I need to, I gotta use it here. Crap. Oh, and mage power. Yeah, we're gonna throw that evenly matched at him. We're on lockdown. Alright. So, what are we gonna do here? That's a 4-star, right? And he's non-tuner. So, I can take it. And then get ourselves our Synchro Dragon. Or what is it? This Clear Wing Synchro Dragon? I think that's what it's called. Alright, give me that. I do wonder if, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, about that whole thing about them sending us $1,000 every month until this whole crisis is over. And I kind of have to think to myself, that would be kind of awesome. It would definitely keep the economy going. I know that, because I would spend it. I'd be like, give me that. I would definitely spend it. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I kind of hope they do it. I don't know if they will, because it's, it adds to the debt, but it would be pretty neat. And it'd be especially helpful for like I was saying in that thing I shared earlier. It'd be really helpful for people who are having problems finding work or keeping their hours at their job. Oh, speaking of which, Amazon, of all people, is apparently hiring because there's been a huge increase in their orders because everybody is at home and they're unable to just get out to the store, or things at the store are sold out. So Amazon has said that they are going to try and hire a whole bunch of people to help at the various warehouses and stuff that they have. And I'm like, that's actually not bad. I mean, there'll be temporary jobs, but at least it's something, like if you got your hours cut at work, at least with that, you'll have something to bring in a little money. And if they were able to do that along with that $1,000 a month, I think that would keep most people, that would keep their head above water. So that'd be good. Let's see. I could do... Oh, that's right. I don't have the big giant... Dang it. I'm gonna have to thousand-ize. Because I'm too busy talking to you all. That I'm not really paying attention. There, see? Let's see, that's a non-tuner. This is a tuner. There we go. Balmung. That's an interesting name. Foolish Burial. It's raining now. It was raining here earlier. Just the whole mood of the country is just really, really down. It's like nobody wants to do anything. They're just like, dude, this sucks. Jack Searcher. That's a tuner. Let me see. What does he do? Once per turn, you can select one face-up tuner monster on the field. I kind of don't want to give him the tuner, so I'm going to burn my smashing on that. And then I'm going to set her. Detroit's been crying for like 3 decades at this point. Poor Detroit. Winda. I don't have another 7-star, so I'm gonna have to bring a Squirrel. Because he would be 2 and then 4. Okay. Let me see. I could do 8-star. Or, no, I could do Gusto Guldo. I could bring out Giganticastle. Who would be better, Giganticastle or Stardust? Let's do... Actually... Oh, no, wait. He's got to face down there. Okay. Let's do Stardust. Because I can't win this turn anyway. And what does Stardust say when he hits the field? Oh, no. Here. Hit the field, buddy. That's right. Because Stardust is really a giant. We don't need to. It's in the Bible. Dude, a lot of stuff has been in the Bible. I don't believe anything that thing says. Let's see. This card's normal summoned, special summoned. One win monster in your graveyard. I could bring back another monster. Or do I want to do... Do I want to do her or I want to do Winda? Let's do Winda right now. Let's see how that works out. Armored unit. Uh-oh. Oh, he's gonna bring it. Dang it, he's gonna get the, Oh, he didn't do it! Oh, maybe he'll do it in main phase 2. Let's see, let's do... Let's see, so she's at 3-star. Let's do this dude. Now he brought it. Yeah, kind of figured he was waiting. Freaking power tool dragon. Oh, he's putting in defense. Ooh, double tool C and D. Oh man. I kind of hope I give him the United. He's going for 2 Uniteds. It is United, okay. So he's got a 33 defender. Monster. I think 8-star. Well, I could negate the effect of United. I got mine today too. I saw that. I got mine. Yeah, probably. Who lives with you? No one. I don't know which one to do here. Because even if I were to bring Elector and negate the United, the next turn he's going to go away. Oh, wait. Oops, wrong one. I have Alucard in here, don't I? I don't have Alucard. How do I not have Alucard? That's amazing. That's insanity. How do I not have Alucard? Crap, I guess I ran out of space. It's not how it works, dude. You're not even paying attention. Because if I bring out Elector and I put this down, the United, he's still going to have a 2500 defender. So I can't get past that. See? That's why I didn't do it. Because it's still, even with United down, it's still a 2500 defender. Wow. I'm going to have to make a decision. Let me see. This card is normal summon or special summon. You can target one wind monster. And that's another tuner. God, this sucks. And I had to burn the smashing earlier to slow him down. If there was ever a time I needed Cam. Do nothing about it. And I don't have a 10-star synchro. Yes, you fill it out. Well, the thing is, if they send you the census thing and you fill it out and send it off, that's fine. But if you don't, then they're going to come to your door. And they will come to your door. So just fill it out and send it off, man. And it's not like, they're not like religious folks who they'll eventually stop coming. They will keep coming. That's their job. They have to count as many people as necessary. This sucks. Nothing I can do. I thought I had Alucard. If I had Alucard, this could be over. Damn, now he's gonna start getting his monster really pumped up. Yeah, plus if you fill it out and you get it into them before the end of March, they send you a $10 gift certificate for Popeye's Chicken. Jesus, that sucked. That hurt. Damn it, Leo. Kind of want to play Leo again. Let's try some Fur Hire. Hey man, I love Popeye's Chicken. Actually, interestingly enough, to me their chicken's okay. But what really gets me is their red beans and rice. Their red beans and rice are freaking delicious. You could buy me one of those big, what are they, like a quart or something? You could buy me one of those and I'm good for the whole day. That stuff is so good. Oh man, lots and lots of Donpas. Love that red beans and rice, man. It's so damn good. Uh, you won't get locked up, but like I said, they'll keep coming. Now, if you purposely avoid them, like if you are doing your best to not get counted and they find you, then I don't know. I've never tried to not be counted for the census, so I don't really know how that works. But I do know if you don't fill it out, they will keep coming. They'll knock on your door every single frickin' day, and it won't be, it won't be like a big G-man or anything. It'll be just like a, because what they'll do is during the census years they will temporarily hire a bunch of people, and they usually just stick a vest on them, give them a clipboard, and tell them, okay, you got to go check on such and such houses and all that, and that's all they do. Jesus, man, you're really pumping yourself up here, aren't you? No, it's not the FBI. They are not the FBI. It's a completely different branch of the government. Man, you really wanted to take that out, huh? Alright, let's see what do we got here. Who do we want to bring? Want to bring Beat? Got a Beat there. Yeah, I think we're gonna do Beat. Could also do Dinah. Let's do Beat. It's not the IRS either. Yes. Try that dude, and then we'll also get Beat. I forget exactly what department it is, but it's not the IRS. It's not Justice. It's not the Justice Department. That would be FBI and stuff. Let's bring Rafael. Kind of want to look it up now, since you're asking. Who runs this? What department? Let me see. The U.S. Department of Commerce. Yeah, the Census Bureau is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, is what it says here. So there you go. Italian Mafia. No. You know, and it actually is important that that you do actually fill that stuff out, because that's how they determine voting districts, and also how much federal money your area will get for certain things. You know, that's why they want to know, so that they can allocate that additional money. Because if you have a city of 10,000 people, and you say that, and you report that you only have 8,000 people, well, now they think, oh, well, there's only 8,000 people there, so we don't need to give them any more than would be enough for that number of people. And that's how you start getting budget shortfalls. So, but the federal money that they get, usually it's like for schools. I think some of it is used for roads, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's generally a good idea just to fill it out and send it in. I mean, we're citizens. It's not like we have anything to hide. Now, if you're not a citizen, well, I can't advise you there. Yeah, because I've known of people. I've never known them, like personally known them, but I've known of people who are not citizens. And the census people come around, and of course they don't. They fear that they're going to get taken away or deported, Crap, I didn't put Mirror Force down. Ah! Dang it, I thought Mirror Force was down. Son of a biscuit. Let's see, who do we want to put out there? Let's force him to hit Dinah. Oh, I should have put in defenseman. Jesus, I'm doing terribly, man. I can't, it's like I can't focus. I'm just doing terribly, man. Mage power and Black Salvo. Oh, he didn't want to hit Dinah. You're a senior citizen? Well, if you're a senior citizen, then you really don't have anything to worry about as far as the census. Just fill it out and send it in, and there you go. In fact, I think the postage is paid for and everything. Just send it out. That's what I'm going to do. Let me think. 2-star, 3-star, 6-star. Okay. Let me see. I've just got Raphael in there, right? Oh, and Wiz. Okay. Think. Raphael would do monster effects. Military. They don't ever. Now they may send you like just basic general recruitment letters, but they won't send just random citizens orders. That's not. They don't do that. Like it's possible you ended up on a mailing list. Let's see, who do we want to grab? Let's grab Bravo. Send that away. Figured you were going to do that. Yeah, the only, in fact, I don't even think it happened when, yeah, the only time that I've even really interacted with the military, as far as, you know, enlistment and that kind of stuff, was when I turned 18. Because by law, when you turn 18, you have to register for selective service. But that's, it's insanely uncommon nowadays that people actually get called up for that stuff, but it's still the law. The military sent you that? That sounds fishy as hell to me. That sounds really fishy. Now, were you ever in the military? Because if you were, that's different. Then you may get letters from the military. Let's see, who are we gonna bring? Let's bring... We've already got Recon and Bravo in hand. Yeah, then I don't know what the heck that's talking about. No. There's a lot of scams like that go on here in the States. I'm sure it happens in a lot of other countries too. Like every day, no joke, because I have my home phone and then I have a cell phone. But every day for the last few weeks, I've been getting a robocall. And it's funny because the call to my cell phone and the call to my home phone, which are two different numbers, they come in at exactly the same time. And it's the same people. And I'm just like, really? You gonna do that? And it's always the same crap. They're like, well, there's actually a couple of different ones that I've gotten. I've gotten one where they talk something about Medicaid or something. They're like, your Medicaid has been canceled or something. You need to talk to us and we'll get it back. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And then there's another one where it says, your cellular phone service has been canceled. Press 1 to speak with a representative or whatever. You know, they're basically just, you know, they're phishing calls. They try to get you to give them, you know, private information, you know, billing information, that kind of stuff. It's all the same crap. But like there was one that called, that tried to pull that Sprint stuff. Like they said they were with Sprint. And they're like, yeah, your Sprint service has been, you know, canceled. And I was like, let me see where this goes. So I hit the button that said talk to the representative. And so I go and so the guy answers, and of course he's got an accent. And I'm like, where are you located? And he's like, in America. I'm like, okay, where in America are you located? He's like, Rhode Island. I'm like, okay, what city in Rhode Island? And he's like, he just didn't say anything for like a good 5 seconds. And finally he's like, I can't tell you that. And I'm like, I don't believe you. And he's like, yeah, whatever, F you. And he hung up on me. And I was like, what the hell, dude? He knew that he could, that was one less person he could possibly scam, so he got mad. Power Tool Mecha Dragon, 2 of them. Genix Searcher. But yeah, that was pretty funny. He couldn't even name a city in Rhode Island. I mean, there's really only one Rhode Island is tiny. There's really only one major city there. So it's pretty funny that he couldn't name the one major city. Not on a sale, on a scam. Still, it's pretty funny that they do that sometimes. But at the same time, it's funny to me because obviously I can sniff that kind of stuff out fairly easy. In fact, most of us can. But you know there's a little old lady or a little old man out there who doesn't know any better. You know, they're like 80-something years old and they're retired, they're living on a fixed income, and they're upset because their grandkids don't come see them. And somebody calls and says this to them, and you know they're gonna buy it. It's like, ugh. Dang, I don't want to dark hole this one guy. Yeah, that's the reason why they keep doing it, because they know 99 times out of 100 they're not going to succeed, but that one time that they do succeed is usually worth it for them. Because imagine if you can get, you know, an 85-year-old, you know, woman or man who doesn't know any better, and they just fork over the credit card number, because you know once you're that age, generally, you know, you may have credit cards, or you've got a lot of money in savings, you know, so they juice them for all they can. And if they hand over that credit card number, you could probably immediately charge a couple $1,000 to that credit card. You know, and then they get that money, and then eventually, yeah, you can prove it as fraud, but by that time, that person who got that couple $1,000 has already taken that money out of the bank, and they're gone. You know, and at that point, there's not a lot you can do. Pushing my bill back free for 2 months? No. Oh, gladiator beasts. What you got, buddy? Ascendari. See you later, buddy. What? Rageki! Ah! Get out of here with your banned cards. It is. It's terrible. I mean, like we talk a bunch, or at least I do, about what's going on, like with that guy in Tennessee who got all the hand sanitizer, and we're happy that he got what he deserved. But a lot of times those people, they keep doing it because, you know, like I said, the one time it does work, it works really well usually, and it's pretty much impossible to catch them. Because they are, well, one, like, at least for us here in the States, if the person is actually in India, which a lot of them are, a lot of the scammers turn out to be from India, but they're from other countries too. You know, if they're in India, I mean, what are you going to do? It's not like you can go and find that exact person who did that to you in a country with 1 billion people. I mean, it's impossible. And they know that. That's why they do it. They know it's impossible to catch them. I mean, yeah, we can, you know, probably trace to their whereabouts, but again, who's to say it was this person or that person? You just don't know. Do I want to bring Raphael? Actually, no, crap, that's not gonna work. Could do Dinah. See, and I've got, okay, oh crap, I don't know who to bring. Beat for the next turn, maybe? Or Recon for the next turn, because he's got that backfield. But if I can get through this turn for backfield, then no need to worry about it. Yeah, it is taking advantage of old people. That was one of my biggest fears, like, with my grandparents. Because, like, my grandfather, he lived till he was 96. But I was happy because one of my uncles lived with him and took care of him up until the day he died. And so he never had to worry about falling victim to that stuff because my uncle was definitely smarter than that. I put it in defense on purpose, just in case this guy is like a mirror force or something. Okay, good. Yeah, it's pretty crap that they do that to old people. And there are other scams that go on too. Like there was this one scam that was going on where this guy, or was it a guy? Yeah, it was a guy. He started this relationship with this middle-aged woman. I forget what state she was in. I want to say she was in Pennsylvania or something. And he started a relationship with her, and then he said, "Hey, is it okay if I have some packages go to your house?" And she's like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, you know, I'm just unable to receive packages where I am, and so when I come, you know, to the United States, because of course he wasn't in the United States, he's like, I want to, you know, have somewhere that I can send some packs to." And she was like, "Oh, okay." Of course, you know, they were in a relationship, quote unquote. And so she says, "Okay." And of course, like a week later, the packages start showing up, and before you know it, there's like 30, 40 packages, and some of these are quite large. And she talks to him again. She's like, "What am I supposed to do with that?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I talked to a friend I have over in the States. Just on this day and at this time, put the packages out like in front of your house, and he'll come pick them up." And essentially what they were doing is they were ordering items with stolen credit cards. And of course, when you buy stuff with a stolen credit card, if you have it sent to you, well, then they know exactly who to go after. So what he was doing is he was using her as a roundabout so that he could order the stuff using the stolen credit cards, have it sent to her, and then if nobody catches on at that point, then he can have a runner that is local to wherever she is go and pick up the packs, and just like that, they have all the merchandise. Um, and he kept doing that. He would send, it got to the point where she was receiving like 5, 6, 7 packages a day for this dude. And finally, uh, the police came around. I think was it the FBI? Yeah, it was the FBI. They came around and they're like, yeah, you're receiving a bunch of packages that, somebody's using, stolen credit cards. And she's like, what are you talking about? And of course they asked to go in, and they're in her house, and they see packages, and they finally talk to her, because at first they were going to take her to jail thinking it was her. And she's like, no, this is from, so and so. And finally they're like, what? And she tells them the whole thing. And that's how we found out. Eventually it came out on the news and everything that the guy was using her as a roundabout to send the packages and everything to. Dang it, I'm not going to be able to negate that. And so, of course, they took all the packages, and eventually, when she talked to that dude again, she was like, hey, the FBI was here. What the F? And, of course, at that point, he knew the jig was up, and so he just cut off contact with her completely. And you feel bad for her, because she thought they were like in this online or long distance relationship. And she was just trying to do him a favor. And he just completely used her. It's so sad, man. Freaking sad as hell. But there are people that do that stuff, man. It's... yeah. What about the Facebook scam? Turn $500 into $5,000, send your bank account info, or put 10 iPhones in your name. Yeah, people do that too. They'll, where if they get your, like if they get your social security number, yeah, if they get that, then you're really screwed. Because they can go and open up lines of credit. In fact, I forget who it was. It was a person I used to work with. That she and her mother were not speaking to each other anymore, because apparently what had happened is when she went away when the younger woman went away to college, her mother started getting credit card applications for her, because once you turn 18, no joke, here in the United States, once you turn 18, you get flooded with credit card applications, because now you're legal, And so, without telling the daughter, the mother would fill out all of her daughter's information, because it's her daughter. Of course she has her social security and all that stuff. She filled them out, sent them off, and sure enough, some of them got approved. They sent the credit cards to her, and just like that, within like a month, the mother had run up something like $8,000 in fraudulent debt from the credit cards she had gotten. And of course, the younger girl had no idea. Until like a year later, she got sued by one of the companies. They came to her and said, hey, you owe us this money. And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't have credit cards. And they're like, nah, you definitely do. And of course they show her the paperwork and all that. And she's like, what in the world is this? And she's like, I never had these credit cards. Then they went and did some digging. Come to find out, it was the mom. The mom sold her out basically to, get some credit cards. And yeah. I mean, but besides that, if you got the social security number, you can open up credit cards. You can open up, various lines of credit. You can get loans. You can open up cell phone lines. Just everything. You can open up cable service. It's kind of insane, man. Oh, bestiary. Beast more momolibde. Glider-based Neurokius. Oh, cool. But yeah, I remember that. That was just... It's like you think your family is going to, watch your back, but it's like, nah. Oh, that's right. I have to do one more reverse duel. In 5Ds, I think it is. Was it this one? Yeah. Do this one. We're gonna do Cyber Dragons. I'm just glad that's never happened to me. I'm so glad. Well, it kind of has and it kind of hasn't. Actually, I probably shouldn't tell that story. Y'all gonna be like, no, tell it. No, I really, really shouldn't, because there are actual legal ramifications to that story, so I have to keep that on the down low. Not for me, for the person that I would mention, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it kind of happened to me, and I caught them, and they were just like, hmm. That's it, huh? That's all you got, you say? Let's see. Dre says, my family member purchased $20,000 more dollar bills of fake money on eBay and bought a flat screen TV with the money. Dude. Gotta be careful with that, dude. Secret Service, of all people, actually investigate counterfeiting. And man, can you get in trouble for that. You can get sent away forever if you pass bad bills. If you knowingly pass bad bills. It usually depends on the amounts. Let's see. Curse of Cyber Dragon. Oh man, what could that be? I don't really want a tribute. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that stuff, man. In fact, a friend of mine, many, many years ago, I won't say the name of the friend, but many, many years ago, before scanners were a common thing, you know, like scanners were, you know, hook up to your computer, scan documents, that kind of stuff. I actually got a scanner, and he had the idea that he could scan a $5 bill front and back and then print it out front and back. And of course the scanner, even at the time, this was many years ago, many years ago, and even at the time scanners were actually pretty good. Like you could get nice high DPI on a scanner. And so he does it, and he prints it front and back, but I'm like, dude, this is not gonna work. He's like, what do you mean? I go, look at this thing, man. Because imagine a $5 bill, but printed on regular white paper. Even when he trimmed it up and everything, it did not feel right at all. And I'm like, dude, this is not, no, just don't do this. He's like, I think it's good enough. I'm like, dude, if you go into a store and try to pass that, they are going to laugh at you. He said, don't do that, man. And so he's like, fine. So he didn't go to the store. What he did was he went to a car wash. And I don't know how y'all have it over in different countries, but here in Texas, car washes, they have those self-serve car washes here. And usually it's just a bunch of stalls where you go and you park your car, and then you put quarters into a machine, and then you spray and all that stuff, and you wash your car. And so he goes to the car wash, and it's like in the middle of the night. It's like at 3 in the morning. And oh, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I do this right. Okay, there we go. So it's like 3 in the morning, goes to the car wash, and of course there's nobody around because it's like a Monday night at 3 or something. And he goes and he sits there at the change making machine, because those machines are still out in the open. And so he's there and he's fidgeting with this machine for like a good 10 minutes. And he's like, God damn it, take this thing. And he's just trying to get $5 in quarters. Like, dude, what are you doing? Trying so hard just to I mean, he went through so much trouble to do it, just to make the $5 bill, and now he's fudging with this machine for 10 minutes trying to get $5 in quarters out of it. And I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, how desperate are you for some money, dude? I'm like, don't do that. Finally he came, and I admit I was in the car. I didn't take him, but I happened to be in the car, and I saw him do it. And I'm like, what is he doing? And then you realize he comes back and he's like, yeah, it didn't work. And I'm like, of course it didn't work, man. What are you doing? It was one of the funnier moments. It was funny. I would have felt bad if it did actually work, though. Because if it did, then the person who owns the car wash, when they come and they check the money every day, and he goes and he's like, what the hell is this? He's like this fake $5 bill. Stardust Dragons. Shadow Impulse. Quillbolt. Synchron Exploder. People do goofy stuff, man. People do really goofy stuff sometimes. Is that 100%? Ooh, wow, look at that. 100%, 100%. What am I missing? Oh, okay, so I still gotta finish... Oh, I have a lot of reverse duels here, don't I? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I still have 4 reverse duels here. But it was pretty funny. I'm actually kind of glad it didn't work. Because 1, obviously, he would have been breaking the law. And 2, you know, once something like that works for you, and you know you can get it, or at least you think you can get away with it, it only gets worse from there. You know, what's he gonna do now? Go scan, you know, a $20 bill, or, you know, or just print out a bunch of 5s and, and go clean out the machine of quarters? I don't know. Let's see, I'm doing Exodia, huh? We're gonna go first. Yeah, that was one of the funnier times when I was younger. Dang, look at that hand. That's not very good. That's a pretty bunk hand right there, man. Now that I'm thinking about all that, I wonder whatever happened to him. I haven't seen that dude in at least a decade. It's been a long time. Ooh, Predaplants. This is gonna suck. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a similar model to the to that XYZ monster I use. I don't even know what this thing does. I gotta read it. And I'm gonna need a Swords of Revealing Light. Or that works too. 2 dark monsters equip tokens. If this card is fusion summoned, you can make this card gain attack equal to 1 opponent's special summon monster until the end of this turn. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, this card's name becomes that monster's original name and replaces this effect with that monster's original effects. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, you can destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. Ow. I can probably save my Wabaku for now. Now we're all talking about crimes and everything. I just remember this one dude. He was never really a friend. I just knew who he was. And he would always come around me and this other person that I knew from back in our old neighborhood. And he was a terrible person. I mean, just a terrible, like a genuinely... Like, have you ever met somebody and they're just so completely devoid of character and scruples that you're just like, I don't want to be around you ever. That's how I felt about this dude. But you know, when you're a teenager, you just kind of like, you know, you just kind of deal with it. And so this guy would come around sometimes, and every time he came around, he smelled horrible. I mean, just he smelled like cigarettes and sweat all the time. It was gross. And I just know that every time he would come around, not necessarily for me, but like, because it would be like me and another friend of mine, and then there was a few other dudes. It was like a bunch of people from the neighborhood. You know, we all used to hang out at my friend's house. And then that dude would walk up, and we knew every single time he would come around, It was because he wanted to break the law. Because he had got himself hooked on huffing. And if you're not familiar with huffing is when you get a can of spray paint, and what people will do is they'll get the spray paint and they'll get the cap off of it and they'll spray a bunch into the cap, and then they'll put it over their mouth and they'll breathe it in, and it gives them this high. And that's what his thing was. He was really, really into huffing. And of course, in order to get the paint and everything, he would need to commit crimes. So he would just randomly show up, stinking of cigarettes and sweat, and sometimes have the paint on his face, so you could tell he was huffing. And he would just sit there and he would just talk normally, you know, like just BSing for a few minutes, and then suddenly he'd break out like, "Hey man, so-and-so's not home. You want to go break in their house?" And we're just like, "What?" And he was completely serious. He was 100% serious. And all of us were just kind of like, "Dude, what the F, man? We know that guy. We grew up with him." And he's just like, "So? He's got good stuff." Just be like, "Dude, man, And the worst part about him is that he ended up having a kid. And shortly after he had the kid, he went to jail. And I just gotta think to myself, okay, the only way this guy could have had a kid is if the woman he knocked up was also into huffing or doing drugs. And I'm guessing that's what happened, because nobody in their right mind would let this man screw them. Nobody. And yeah, he ended up getting busted for doing his stupid stuff, and he went to jail. And I haven't heard about him since. It's been a long time since I've heard about him. What is his? Oh, I remember his name now. I almost want to look him up on Facebook just in case he got out, because it's been a long time. So I'm guessing he probably got paroled or something. But even then, I feel for his kid. I really do. Yeah, I feel so bad, because, you know, like my dad just wasn't around. And in a way, that's actually better. You know, it's better for a dad to just not be around than to have a dad like that dude. Because that dude was a fiend, he was a criminal, and he did not give a damn. Just, I feel so bad for this kid. Like I said, I kind of want to look him up just to see whatever became of him. Maybe, for all I know, maybe he got his life together. Maybe going to jail was a good thing. Maybe he got cleaned up. Because that's what happens sometimes with those people. Like, they'll go to jail because they were hooked on something, and they'll spend a few years in there, and they get cleaned up, and they come out and they're like, "I never want to go back to jail. I'm gonna just work hard," and who knows? Maybe that happened to him. Maybe he went right back to doing drugs. I don't know. But that was crazy, man. The dude was just nuts. I knew way too many criminals when I was young. Now that I'm thinking about it, I knew way too many criminals. Holy crap, did I know a lot of criminals. Ugh. It's kind of amazing that I didn't become a criminal if you think about it. Because Jesus Christ, man, I knew so many freaking criminals. Uh-oh, this is not good. Crap. I'm dead. I lost. That stupid plant. Father of the century right there. But seriously, I really do want to look him up. Not contact him. I just want to see what he's up to. Just out of curiosity. Because again, you know, it's pretty rare that somebody that messed up is able to turn their life around, but it happens. Oh man, I think I'm ready for dinner. It's been too much time talking about criminals. We shouldn't talk about criminals, right, buddy? That's right. We should not do that. Well, let's look him up. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure this is his name. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. Let me see. Oh my god, this is him. And apparently he's married. Yeah, he's married. Who married this idiot? He's got, oh my god, he's got 5 kids now. And they're, well, actually, wait. He's got 6 kids. He's got to have 6 kids. Because when I knew him, yeah, based on the ages of the kids in these pictures, yeah, he's got to have an older kid. And then he has 5 more. Oh my god. But this is. I'm not saying his name. I'm not telling you his name. Because that's just. It'd be. I mean, I've criticized him enough, and he's not here to defend himself. Not that he would really have a way to defend himself, but. Yeah, I'm not going to give you his name. I'm not going to do that. Because, for one, he's married, so that would be disrespectful to his wife, and I don't know his wife. And secondly, because he has kids. Yeah, I can make fun of him all I want, but I'm not going to mess with his kids. You just don't do that. You do not mess with somebody's kids. So I'm not going to do that. But I know that he's alive, and he hasn't updated in quite some time. Oh crap, so he may actually be back in jail again. Yeah, because he has not updated in a long time. And I'm not just talking like a couple weeks or a couple months, I mean a long time. So, yeah, I think I'll just leave this alone. But I definitely know this is him. That's his face. I recognize that face. Anyway. Oh, I'm kind of terrible. Anyway, I think that'll do it for now, man. I want to go get something to eat, and my food's probably at least requiring. I'm not gonna. No, I am not sending him a friend request. Absolutely not. There are some people that you meet in life, and let this be a lesson to the younger people out there. There will be people that come into your life that are going to do nothing but screw it up, and you need to recognize that. He, for me, was one of those people, and thankfully, I was smart enough at the time to just be like, no. So I said no then, and I'm saying no now. Absolutely not. I am not going to contact that dude. No way. Absolutely. I don't care if he needed a kidney. I would not contact him. No. Absolutely not. And what makes it even worse, and I didn't mention this, but I will mention this, is that when we were in school, because we went to school together for a few years, he used to always bully me. He wasn't. How can I put it? It wasn't necessarily bullying, but he was just a real jackass. Like he always had to make fun of people. That was his thing. He was always just a jerk. He was just mean to people, and not just like a teasing kind of mean. Like when you're with your buddies or your best friends or whatever, you can tease them a little bit because that's just the kind of relationship you have. Not him. He wouldn't just tease you. He would just drill you with stuff. And it was harsh, man. Like there was this one kid, I felt bad for him, and he used to always make fun of him because he was poor. This one kid we knew who would come to school in the same clothes, like every other day he'd wear the same clothes, and oftentimes he wouldn't have paper, he wouldn't have a pencil or anything to write with, and so he would have to borrow. Well, some of us who knew this kid, we knew that his parents, or his mom really, just they didn't have money, and he would lay into this kid all the time. And I was just like, dude, that's just wrong, man. What are you talking about? Don't have no hair, dude? When I was younger, I had a ton of hair. I had hair down to my butt for a while. I had long hair, so yeah, I had hair. Anyways, but yeah, he's just one of those people that you just don't want to get involved with. It's just bad news. Anyways, enough about that. I'm gonna go get some food. You guys go into. For some of y'all, it's already bedtime, man. Go to sleep. Yeah, Moni, go to sleep, man. Same thing with Conrad. You gotta go to sleep, man. Things are getting crazy over there in Peloton. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Until then.